Fox Tonight, police use of force is a huge issue right now. Questions constantly asked: how much force should be used in a given situation? And when does a situation require deadly force? Right now, most officers have a choice of two main weapons, a taser and a gun. But what if they had something else, something in between those two? Troy Hayden tested out such a weapon, and he's live with more on this. Troy.
You know, when it comes to deadly force, most police agencies use what's known as a 21-foot rule. And here we are, we're at about 21 feet right here. Now, this isn't for a gun, but something like a knife or a hammer or a crowbar. Basically, within 21 feet, if I make a move towards you, if I'm coming after you, you're allowed generally to use deadly force, because the thought is I can get to you in such a hurry that you may not be able to pull your weapon and defend yourself. It's not that far when you put it in these terms. It's not that far. So that's using lethal force. Now, non-lethal force, generally it's a taser, right? A taser, though, is only good at about 10 feet, about this, close right here. So you can see how close we are. So you're thinking, well, non-lethal at this point, who knows if it's going to work? So the question is, can we get something that's non-lethal or less lethal that works all the way back here and beyond? And the answer is yes.
It fires like a gun, looks like a gun, but this is no ordinary weapon. It shoots less lethal bullets and also flashbang rounds, even signal rounds.
This was developed in Russia by the Russian Academy of Sciences.
This is the Defenzia M09. Think of it as a weapon right in between a taser and a regular handgun.
Pretty compact. I mean, that's like smaller than a taser, isn't it?
It's smaller and lighter.
And instead of a lead lethal bullet, the Defenzia shoots less lethal rubber bullets designed to knock down and incapacitate a suspect instead of killing him.
This is going to hit at the speed of an 80-mile-an-hour fastball, hitting you in the chest, center mass. This will knock somebody down.
Paul Babu's Pinal County Sheriff's Office is the first in the U.S. to buy the Defenzia to give to his deputies. Why use these? Take, for instance, the recent shooting of 24-year-old Danielle Jacobs by Mesa Police. She suffered from severe emotional issues and became known to many when this video of her dog calming her down went viral. Police say last week she had a knife, and they felt threatened, so they shot and killed her. Who knows what would have happened in this case if the officers had less lethal weapons like this?
So you're saying that this is as accurate as like a 9mm service weapon at 30 feet?
Actually, we'll do a little challenge with your weapon today and with Defenzia.
Most officers will only use a taser within 10 feet, and we tested the Defenzia at 30 feet. And we tested it against a 9mm handgun. The Defenzia comes with a built-in laser sight.
All you have to do, the officer, is to touch.
Oh, wow.
First, the 9mm. I try to hit a can. It's a pretty small target at 30 feet. And now the Defenzia. Pretty accurate. And when we tested it against a bigger target, more like a human torso, it was even more accurate.
Right there, center.
The flashbang round is impressive as well.
In Russia, what they will do first as a warning. And that's a pretty good warning, because that one alone stops people. You can have 5 guys over here, and you do a flashbang, everybody's going to be basically blind for about a minute.
Defenzias are more expensive than normal service weapons, but the savings in terms of lives and money could be huge. Think of the case involving Danielle Jacobs we told you about earlier.
Think of just liability, Troy. And a lawsuit alone could cost hundreds of thousands just to fight, if not millions in a payout. We've seen this in other parts of America that this has occurred. This, I think, has the potential to be transformative for law enforcement.
So again, the Pinal County Sheriff's Office is the very first agency in the whole country to get these. They're going to get them later on this month, and they're going to go through training, and then they'll be on the streets soon after.
Who's next? Anybody else in line?
He's the man who's selling these is going to Washington, D.C. and Chicago in the next few days.
I can see this being used in people's homes. They maybe don't want to have a weapon that's lethal force if they have kids in the home, but they want some protection. Is this something available?
Yeah, they're developing it right now for home use. Basically, you can buy them just for consumer use, not law enforcement.
Would it replace the taser? eventually, or no?
You know,
Because now you've got officers with a bunch of different weapons going on.
Yeah.
It can be confusing.
I've never really used a taser, but I've heard sometimes the barbs go in, sometimes they don't.
Right.
Thick jacket or whatever. This seems like it might be a little bit better, but you know, maybe this is more testing. We'll see what they look like in the field.
Interesting. Really
Interesting. Thanks,
Thank you.
Troy.
Yeah.